From the moment she stepped out of the limousine and walked hand in hand with her newly inaugurated husband, President Jimmy Carter, Rosalynn Carter offered the world a new vision of the First Lady of the United States.
We love and care for every single one of you. Good night.
The First Lady to carry a briefcase to her office in the East Wing each day, Rosalynn Carter was a trusted advisor and working partner to the President. She served as the Carter administration's emissary to Latin America, helping improve U.S. ties with countries south of the border.
I'm going to convey all of this information that I have to Jimmy. In fact, I look forward to consulting closely with him on a regular basis.
She also promoted services for seniors, lent her support to childhood immunization drives, lobbied for the Equal Rights Amendment, and raised tens of millions of dollars to ease the plight of Cambodian and Laotian refugees. But the role she considered her most important was the one the President appointed her to within the first month of his administration. Honorary Chair of the President's Commission on Mental Health.
For too long, these people have not received the care they need and that a caring society should provide.
Mrs. Carter held hearings across the country, testified before Congress, and spearheaded passage of the Mental Health Systems Act of 1980. Mental health and caregiving were causes she developed a passion for when she was the First Lady of Georgia, and one she would champion for the rest of her life. The eldest of 4 children, Eleanor Rosalynn Smith, was born on August 18, 1927, in Plains, Georgia. She graduated valedictorian of Plains High School and attended Georgia Southwestern College. Rosalynn often spent time with her friend Ruth Carter and was smitten by a picture of Ruth's older brother, Jimmy. A cadet at the U.S. Naval Academy, Jimmy asked Rosalynn to a movie in the summer of 1945, and that night he told his mother he'd met the girl he was going to marry someday. They were married the next year. The Carters had 3 sons, Jack, Chip, and Jeff, all born in different Navy ports. Daughter Amy was born 15 years after their youngest son, Jeff. By that time, the family had moved back to Plains. When Jimmy entered local politics, Rosalynn showed a talent for campaigning. She helped her husband win a seat in the Georgia State Senate and go on to become governor. When Governor Carter announced his run for president, Rosalynn campaigned full-time on a separate schedule and was widely considered his best campaign asset. After President Carter lost his bid for a second term, the Carters returned to Plains and continued to lead active lives dedicated to helping others. 1 week a year, they helped build houses for Habitat for Humanity, and in 1982 founded the Carter Center to advance human rights, improve health, and alleviate suffering throughout the world.
I think the main thing the Carter Center does is bring hope to people. It doesn't matter where we go.
The Carters traveled the globe, pursuing diplomatic missions in North Korea and Cuba, monitoring elections in newly established democracies, and in the poorest and most remote corners of the world, they met villagers and reviewed the center's health programs to prevent devastating diseases.
We try to help them, and people feel that the Carter Center is honest and that they really care about the people that they're working with, and so they trust us.
Through the Carter Center, Mrs. Carter also continued her drive to improve mental health care and combat stigma against mental illnesses.
It can be diagnosed, it can be treated, and almost everyone suffering from mental illness can be helped.
I'm Ms. Carter.
She established the Carter Center Mental Health Program, chaired the center's Mental Health Task Force, and created the Rosalynn Carter Fellowships for Mental Health Journalism to foster greater media coverage of mental health issues.
Media plays such an important role in influencing people's thoughts about mental illness and people that are living with mental illnesses.
Outside the Carter Center, Mrs. Carter co-founded Every Child by Two, campaigning for early childhood immunization in all 50 states. And she was president of the Rosalynn Carter Institute for Caregiving at Georgia Southwestern State University. To honor her life of public service and leadership, she became only the 3rd First Lady to be inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. And she received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, America's highest civilian award.
Well, Jim and I have been very privileged. The American people have given us unlimited chances, unlimited opportunities. And we have wonderful friends who support our programs here at the Carter Center.
and make it possible for us to do things that we never would ever have been able to do.
Rosalynn Carter often talked about the many opportunities her public life presented, and she took advantage of those opportunities to help others.
My dream for the future would be peace in the world and freedom from sickness. I don't think that will come about anytime soon, but at least I think the best thing we could do is work toward that goal.